Let me be perfectly clear from the very start, what you are about to hear is not another piece of speculative hype or a baseless rumor from the forums. The ground beneath the Iraqi dinar has fundamentally and irrevocably shifted, and the catalyst for this change comes from one of the most powerful and conservative financial institutions on the planet. The International Monetary Fund has just officially stamped its approval on Iraq's comprehensive currency reform program, and this is not a minor administrative note. This is a historic, monumental decision that signals the beginning of the end of a decades-long economic saga. For years, the conversation around the dinar's revaluation has been dominated by whispers, hopes, and often pure fiction. But today, we are no longer in the realm of fiction. We have crossed a critical threshold where the theoretical has become operational, where the dream has been given a concrete action plan blessed by the global financial community. This is the single most significant development for the Iraqi dinar in over 2 decades, and its implications are so profound that every single investor, from the one holding a small certificate to the one with substantial assets, needs to understand the new reality that is now unfolding. The IMF does not lightly endorse such sweeping reforms for a nation with Iraq's complex history and economic challenges. Their involvement signifies that the prerequisites for stability and transparency have been met at a level that satisfies their rigorous, often skeptical international standards. Think of the IMF as the world's most strict financial auditor. They have just given a passing grade to a blueprint that will completely transform Iraq's monetary system. And that blueprint's ultimate goal is to create a stable, internationally recognized, and strong currency. This is the core of what a revaluation truly is. It's not a magical event, it's the final outcome of a meticulous, multi-stage process of economic rehabilitation. The IMF seal of approval is the ultimate validation that Iraq is now serious, credible, and on a technically sound path to achieve this. For the first time, we are discussing the dinar's future not based on what we hope Iraq might do, but on what the international community has now confirmed it will do with their full support and oversight. This program, which the IMF has approved, is designed to tackle the very heart of the dinar's historical weaknesses. It directly addresses the crippling issue of the dual exchange rate system that has created a paradise for arbitrage and corruption while strangling legitimate foreign investment. Unifying this rate is the first and most critical surgical procedure in this economic transformation. It means closing the gap between the official rate used for government transactions and the much weaker rate used on the street and in the parallel market. This unification alone will send a shockwave of confidence through the global markets, signaling that Iraq is ready to play by the same rules as every other modern economy. It tells the world that the era of financial ambiguity is over. Furthermore, the program greenlit by the IMF includes the phasing out of the current Swiss-printed banknotes and the introduction of a new, more secure and technologically advanced family of Iraqi dinar notes. This is not merely a cosmetic change. This is a strategic move to combat the massive amounts of physical currency hoarded outside the banking system, which has been a primary source of monetary instability and a major obstacle for the Central Bank of Iraq in effectively controlling the money supply. By invalidating the old notes and replacing them with new ones through a structured and monitored process, the CBI can finally bring a vast amount of this shadow liquidity back into the formal economy, giving them an unprecedented level of control over the currency's value and velocity. This is the bedrock upon which a strong and stable exchange rate is built. So, when you hear the term, "I have approval," I need you to understand its true weight. It is the master key that has unlocked the next, and most critical, phase of Iraq's monetary future. The waiting game has evolved into an active, observable process. The countdown is no longer based on hope. It is now based on a publicly declared, internationally backed schedule of implementation. So, with this historic IMF approval now firmly in place, the immediate and most critical question for every investor is a simple one: what happens next? The path from this monumental decision to the final act of revaluation is not a dark, mysterious void. It is a well-lit corridor of specific, sequential, and most importantly, monitorable milestones. The blueprint is now public, and our role is to become expert map readers, tracking Iraq's progress through each of these defined stages. The first and most immediate milestone, one that is likely already in motion as we speak, is the formal and absolute unification of the exchange rate. You will know this has been achieved when you see a single, unified rate for the Iraqi dinar quoted across all global financial platforms, from the Central Bank of Iraq's own website to international forex brokers and major banking institutions. This is the death knell for the corrupt and inefficient dual rate system. It means that the value of the dinar for importing essential goods like medicine and wheat will be the same value for a foreign corporation looking to invest in Iraq's oil infrastructure or a tourist exchanging dollars at a local bank in Baghdad. This creates a level playing field, eliminates the economic distortion that has plagued the country for years, and is the non-negotiable foundation for everything that follows. It is the first concrete piece of evidence that the reform program is alive, active, and delivering tangible results. Following closely on the heels of rate unification will be the official announcement from the Central Bank of Iraq regarding the timeline for the new currency notes. The IMF's program explicitly supports this transition, and we should expect a detailed, public-facing campaign from the CBI to educate its citizens on the process of exchanging the old notes for the new. This is not something that will happen overnight. It will be a carefully managed process over a defined period, likely several months. You will be able to track the progress of this physical currency swap through official CBI press releases and statements from the Ministry of Finance. The success of this swap is paramount. Its goal is to draw the trillions of dinars held outside the banking system, the so-called mattress money, back into the formal economy. The more successful this process is, the stronger the CBI's control over the monetary supply becomes, and the more solid the foundation for a new, stronger exchange rate. The third major milestone to watch will be a series of legislative actions from the Iraqi government. A true sustainable revaluation cannot be achieved by the central bank alone. It requires the full support of the state's political apparatus. This means watching for the passage of key laws in the Iraqi Council of Representatives, specifically stronger anti-money laundering statutes, laws that solidify the independence of the central bank, and legislation that encourages the repatriation of Iraqi capital held abroad. These legal frameworks are crucial for building international confidence. When global banks see that Iraq has passed robust, internationally compliant financial laws, the perceived risk of dealing with the Iraqi dinar drops significantly, paving the way for its smoother integration into the global financial system. And the final, most telling signpost on this road will be the reaction of the international investment community. As these reforms take hold, you should monitor financial news for major, long-term investment agreements in Iraq's non-oil sectors, such as agriculture, telecommunications, and reconstruction. When sophisticated international capital begins to flow into these areas, it is a powerful vote of confidence in the stability and future of the Iraqi currency. It signals that the world believes in the permanence of this reform. This is a sequenced process: unification, then new currency introduction supported by stronger laws, and finally validated by foreign investment. Each step reinforces the other, creating a virtuous cycle of increasing stability and value. There is no more need for guesswork. The map has been drawn. Our job is to watch the terrain and observe as Iraq navigates it. The timeline is no longer a matter of if, but when each of these milestones is conclusively achieved. This is the new reality, and it is unfolding in real time before our eyes, moving us from a period of hopeful anticipation into an era of verifiable, documented progress. The waiting as we knew it is fundamentally over. This brings us to the ultimate crossroads, the moment where knowledge must transform into decisive action. Because understanding this historic shift is only half the battle, the other half is about how you, as an informed individual, position yourself to navigate the coming days. The period we are now entering is the most dynamic and critical phase in the entire history of the Iraqi dinar investment. The foundational, slow-moving reforms are behind us. The internationally approved plan is active. What lies ahead is a sequence of rapid-fire developments, official announcements, and market reactions that will separate the prepared from the passive. The information flow will intensify, and with it, the noise from misinformation campaigns and deliberate disinformation will also reach a fever pitch. Entities that have profited from the decades of instability and a weak dinar will not relinquish their advantages quietly. They will unleash a torrent of confusing data, contradictory reports, and fear-driven narratives designed to create panic and uncertainty among holders. Their goal is to cloud the clear picture the IMF has just painted, to make you doubt the verifiable progress, and to convince you that the old rules of chaos still apply. They thrive in confusion, Your single greatest shield against this final assault on your financial resolve is unbreakable clarity and a relentless focus on primary sources. This is no longer the time to get your news from anonymous blog comments or unsubstantiated social media posts. The entire game has changed, and your strategy must change with it. Your attention must now be locked, laser-focused, on the official channels of the Central Bank of Iraq, the International Monetary Fund's published reports and statements, and credible global financial news services like Reuters and Bloomberg that report directly from the source without the filter of speculation. When you hear a dramatic rumor, you must train yourself to ask one question: where is the primary document? Where is the official press release? If it cannot be traced back to an official institution within 24 to 48 hours, you must dismiss it as tactical noise designed to derail you. This disciplined approach to information is your new most valuable asset. It is what will allow you to hold with confidence when others are panicking and selling based on fabricated stories. It is what will enable you to recognize the genuine, earth-shattering announcement when it finally arrives, distinguishing it from the endless background static of the rumor mill. The final chapter of this story is being written right now by central bankers and finance ministers, not by anonymous internet gurus. Your power lies in listening to the authors directly. Therefore, the most important step you can take at this very moment is to make a commitment to staying impeccably informed. The window of opportunity that has been opened by the IMF's decision is real, but it will not stay open indefinitely. Markets move on certainty, and as each milestone is achieved, the certainty around the dinar's future will solidify, and the nature of the opportunity will evolve. To ensure you are at the absolute forefront of these developments, you need a reliable, timely, and source-driven information partner. This is my call to action for you. If you have found this detailed, based breakdown invaluable, then you cannot afford to be in the dark now. I urge you to take control of your financial future. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. Why? Because I am committed to being that primary source filter for you. My team and I are dedicated to monitoring the official communications from the CBI, the IMF, and the Iraqi government, and we will deliver that information to you clearly, concisely, and without the hype, just as we have done today. Every crucial update, every verified milestone achievement, every official statement will be broken down for you in a video like this, delivered directly to your feed. Do not let this historic moment pass you by while you are sifting through garbage and gossip online. Let this channel be your command center for accurate intelligence. By subscribing and turning on notifications, you are not just watching a video, you are making a strategic decision to stay informed, to stay prepared, and to be ready to act with confidence when the time is right. The journey is reaching its climax. Don't travel the final, most important leg of it alone. Subscribe now, and let's navigate the future of the Iraqi dinar together, armed with nothing but the truth.